episode 250. Oof.
Hello there. Indeed. This is Drew, here with my little sister, Ashley.
Hey.
Way to bring the appropriate energy to our discussion in our ceremonial 250th episode. Couldn't have happened on a worse time.
Yeah, that is true. That is, yes, very accurate. That's why maybe we should have switched. Maybe we should just end it now and start a different episode for 250 and take this one back.
Okay, well, I'll think about that, and once we're done with the episode,
okay.
we can consider that. But for now, we'll proceed with the plan, which is, I'll mention what the podcast is in a minute, but the plan for today is check in on White Lotus very briefly. Once again, not talk about it and not talk about not talking about it.
Perfect.
And then review / digest the entirety of the Adolescence limited series on Netflix. So that'll be the main discussion. And then you watched the studio, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can give us like a teaser.
Okay.
Yeah. Your recommendation. I mean, I was thinking we would watch a couple episodes and then talk about it if it was good, obviously. So you can tell us at the end of the episode whether you think that's going to stick or not.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Well, you are listening to New Release, a TV podcast, Ashley. Where?
We watch something and make it special for everyone else.
Okay. I like how you're involving the listeners. That's good.
Step one.
We make our favorite TV shows feel
special. Yeah.
Yep. It's New Release special edition, you know. Got to get special in there, which I think you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, this is a special episode because it's the 250th, but we didn't plan anything for that. So you're just going to have to bring the specialness yourselves.
I'm wearing my special glasses.
That's true. I'm wearing a hat.
Well, that's something. I mean, if you took your hat off, the hair would be really special because it's really poofy today.
Yeah. And you have a giraffe behind you.
Yeah, it's eating my brain.
Yeah. Tasty. Okay. Well, briefly, before we get into the very heavy subject matter of adolescence, we're going to talk about some bros giving each other hand jobs.
Oh my gosh. Just one.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to think of the right segue there.
It's it's not you, me, and everyone we know with back and forth pooping, you know.
Fair enough. Some light incest before we get into some very heavy emotional drama. Did you watch the last episode of White Lotus?
Yes.
Yeah. And since we're not talking about it, then can you just give graph your excitement level throughout, or your interest level? Started at a 10 going into the season, or very
before
high,
it started,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started about as high and you've gone down steadily since. Have there been any other peaks? Was this are we
it's
going
still
back
going
up?
down? No.
Still going down. Damn.
Yeah.
Only 2 episodes to go.
I know. I just don't care about it that much, which is unfortunate. But all the characters are annoying me, and I don't care. Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but it's not getting any better in my eyes.
Okay, well, my non-talking about it review is I enjoyed the aftermath, the fallout of the full moon party more than the party. So this last episode, I thought the characters processing that and the way everyone, the scene with the monk was incredible. There were
that was really
parts.
good. Okay, that was fine. Yeah, and maybe once it finishes, I'll be like, oh, wow, that was really good as a package. Yeah. But right now. But we'll talk about that later.
Last week, we are back on a weekly schedule momentarily because I thought it was the way Netflix releases things. A lot of people are talking about Adolescence. Have you encountered more people in your daily life that are watching it?
Honestly, not that many, because I feel like it's a hard show to want to watch, if that makes sense. Like to get into, a lot of people want the lighthearted, a lot of my friends want more lighthearted shows, so this one's not up their alley.
I totally agree. That's what people want, and yet more people I've talked to in real life are watching this than any other
Which
show.
Is impressive, yeah.
So, I mean,
Baby reindeer.
I think you're right, but I bet more of your friends are watching this than you think. I mean, more than any other. There's more consensus around this than just about anything, because of the Netflix effect, because of what we talked about last week. So anyway, before the conversation dies out around it, because most people have, if they are going to watch it, have probably finished it by now. So I wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk about the full season. You were already 3 episodes in last week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So left.
We've both finished it, and we'll talk about it momentarily.
What was that? Hey? What the fuck was that? Signal away like a fucking queen, yeah? Ah! That was tense, that.
What a debut acting.
It's incredible. Like,
yeah.
I was beyond impressed. But that 3rd episode, man.
Yeah, since that's where you left off. One, we mentioned, I need to kind of make a correction. We mentioned last week that there was a lot of long takes. Every episode is a single take.
It is?
Yeah. That's what I've read.
Oh. I guess I didn't even notice, obviously.
I noticed it more on the final 3. I thought it for sure in the first one there were some cuts in the police station, but they had to just film that incredible interview assessment sequence in one take.
Dang.
At like
wild.
theater. I mean, this is a Shakespearean level like theater production and virtuoso piece of filmmaking. Before we get into some of the details, I thought the best way to start the discussion was just to ask you, like, you were mentioning what people want out of TV and out of movies and entertainment, lighthearted, kind of background noise in some cases.
Yeah.
Do you think this show reaches the rare tier? Like, there's entertainment, and then there's art, and then there's entertainment and art that's important. That you can warn people before you recommend this, but do you think this serves a important societal function? Like,
absolutely. And there's been so many articles I've been reading about it too. Just the way, I mean, honestly, now that I have a child, I'm thinking about it a lot. And watching this show is really hard because you don't know what they're exposed to and like how social media is shaping the youth. And like, it's just, I'm hoping it trends to where social media is not cool anymore. So this doesn't have, like, this is, bullying on like Instagram or whatever media platform doesn't happen. But yeah, I think this show is very important. It's just obviously extremely hard to watch.
Because it's real. I mean, because it's addressing real issues that parents are grappling with. It's not like this is a likely outcome for most kids.
Right.
But it's a likely worst case outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a realistic worst case outcome. It's
well,
not alarmist.
No. And obviously there's like tons of bullying and all that stuff through social media. So that is hitting the nail on the head. But yeah, I'm just really hoping that, I don't even know. I mean, it just have to go away, I guess, for it to be, I don't know.
I do think that is the trend. I mean, based on my limited exposure to the youth, more like private communication. I mean, Snapchat's not new whatsoever, but I feel like small, like just group DMs and people sharing like photos and stuff within their groups. Now, I can imagine in a like school setting, those things get shared around, like the pictures of the girl in the show that sort of start this spiral of violence. Like her nude pictures getting shared. dehumanizes her, and then just feeds into this cycle that goes both ways. But I do think social media is a good place to start, because the big thing that's changed since when we went to school, and I've even talked to like my friend Oliver, who's 10 years older than me. Like the bullying isn't new.
Right.
Cliques and the toxic environment of a schoolyard in some ways is maybe less like traditionally violent.
Right.
But the big change is this two-prong effect of social media magnifying everything and giving people 24/7 access to each other to bully them, or to just feel bad about yourself, or see whatever you want to see out of the social sphere. And then two, unfettered access to information. Like, we couldn't have found these fringe belief systems and these fringe like social movements. We wouldn't have had the vocabulary or known about incel type of like rhetoric. We might have heard about it at school if like it was reaching a level of pop culture awareness that but being able to find this like very specialized, very inflammatory information just on your phone or computer is a totally new thing as well.
Yeah. And even like the discussion the parents had when they're like, do we raise, like, that's the hard, like, did we raise our son, like, to do, like, is this our fault kind of thing? I was like, oh my gosh, that's, and they seem like good parents. They tried their best. Like, so it's hard to talk. It's hard to even talk about for me. I'm like,
yeah, no, I don't want to put you definitely in the headspace of where you have to think about it too much, how it's going to apply to your young boy.
Yeah.
And then, you have years and years before you have to really think about some of these things, but obviously you're going to think about them now. But for the parents, I thought like the dad was an interesting figure because he's like a traditionally masculine character. He's into weightlifting, it seems like.
Yeah.
He was abused as a kid. We learn his dad or someone got him into boxing, and so he has like, and Jamie identifies that his dad has some anger episodes, but never hits him. No. And there's no extreme backstory for Jamie that like he was sexually abused or something. Like, there's no clean kind of answer that lets parents off the hook in the sense of like, as long as you don't hit, as long as you don't hit or sexually abuse your kids, they won't turn into this. Well, no, he did just enough, or was just enough of a traditionally masculine role model to where he can still kind of worry that he didn't.
That's his fault.
Yeah. And I don't think that's what the show is. The show isn't blaming anyone. No. But it's leaving the door open for the characters to question it.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to watch in the last episode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've cried over this show more than any show I've watched.
100% for me. I mean, probably just anything, period. Because what I did, I texted you when I was about to finish. Had 30 minutes left, but I had to get up super early the next day, so I actually texted you when I was cutting off the show.
Oh no!
Like, in two cases, for some reason, I've watched like the first 10 or 15 minutes of an episode, not cutting it off to stop, but like I just couldn't finish it that night. So at 7 a.m. the next morning,
oh my gosh, what a way to start your day! Yeah,
I watched the last like 30, 40 minutes of the final episode. And yeah, I mean, it's the dad's birthday. The show time jumps twice, or 3 times, because every episode, like we mentioned, is in real time. So I'm just looking. It jumps 7 months for episode 3 with the assessment, and then it jumps 13 months which means, it jumps to the dad's birthday, and so he's trying to have a normal birthday. Their van gets vandalized. I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to highlight from the last episode?
You know, I just wanted it to be which is like such like a TV show. I just wanted to have like a good episode, like a happy ending of some sort of normalcy for the family, and you don't get that. You get it in glimpses, and then it just goes off the rails, and it's just really tough.
The last episode is pretty manipulative and emotionally whiplashing. Not a word, but the dad wakes up. They're trying to have a normal. His wife is making a nice birthday breakfast.
Black pudding?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Traditional English breakfast. And so that's going well until the daughter, I think, notices that the van's been vandalized. Did you know what Knox?
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't.
A lot of people are Googling it.
Yeah. I had no idea. Van gets vandalized, and then it turns the whole day into him going to like a Home Depot type store to get the paint off, and then him losing his mind a bit on some kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, but there's all these peaks and valleys. Like the breakfast is nice. Then somebody
in the car
writes,
is so nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they're singing in the car, and then they get to the store, and this very creepy employee at the store recognizes and is like trying to. He's representing this
like GoFundMe for.
Well, I mean, like this subset of the internet that is 100% on Jamie's side because they are part of the incel movement.
Well, he was saying, but he also said like this way the stab wounds were or something. Like there's no way he could have done it or something. Like he was trying to.
Yeah, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah,
because he's poisoned by the Reddit culture of the internet of trying to be their own like crime sleuths. The reason that they're looking to poke holes in his guilt is so that they can like celebrate his heroic incel status. It's disgusting. So I don't think he believes in any way that. Well, whether he believes that he's not guilty, it's for the completely wrong reasons. Is what I took away from that.
Because I honestly thought at first when he said that, I was like, does he have some knowledge that like I don't know about? And I was like, no, he's just being a creep. But
yeah,
part of me,
luckily,
I always want to believe that it didn't happen, you know. So I always try back and like be like, did he? You know, obviously he did, but. And
that's what the dad says as well. Yeah, I mean he saw the video.
Yeah.
And still believed his son. Because how can you accept the reality? So we, on that note of the true crime or the crime sleuthing, like we did get pretty definitive confirmation as soon as the second episode, maybe definitely the third, that this wasn't serial. This wasn't a murder mystery. There isn't new information. I totally understand that you were holding out a glimmer of hope or any kind of.
Like there'd be some weird something. I don't know.
That would have obviously ruined the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been an emotional relief, but if it had turned into that type of show in the last episode, that would have been so.
An alien possessed his body, and the alien did it, and he had no control.
There you go. I mean, honestly, that's probably how he feels. When he keeps saying, "I didn't do it."
Yeah. Until the phone call.
Yeah. But so the whole day is just like and then the dad. Then they are leaving the store after the dad harasses the kids, and Jamie calls, and that's a nice conversation until he says he's pleading guilty instead of, I guess, up to that point he was going to plead not guilty or plead something else. And I mean, at what point? I guess I definitely want to shift over to episode 3 as well. Because that was so notable, but your desire to get some kind of relief or closure, like for the family. I think the closest we get to that is with the daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, she's okay. She's very sweet and supportive throughout the day. She changes into nice clothes to celebrate the dad's birthday, even though they're not going to the pictures anymore. But so I think that's the silver lining.
Yeah. And they talk about moving. She doesn't want to move because it'll be worse. And she's just, yeah, she's wonderful, but oof.
And they raised her. I mean, presumably she's a girl, he's a boy. I'm sure the dad had a different relationship with her.
Yeah.
But, he said, he says something to the effect of, how did we raise her to be so great and him to commit this tragedy.
But wasn't he, and they highlight, like, when he was a kid, like, all these, like, happy moments with him and stuff, and I don't know.
No,
they did, though.
They highlight, do what? How
they
so?
Did highlight, because they talked about when they're sitting on, like, their bed or something, they were talking about, like, him being, like, a cute little kid and, like, playing and doing all that stuff, but then slowly gets the computer in his room, is up till 1 a.m., like, it just, happens, but...
Well, yeah, no, they do. Like, basically, I think one of the takeaways from the show, from a parenting standpoint or whatever, is kids need an outlet and a hobby and something that makes them feel good about themselves. Yeah. He briefly had drawing. That's the thing that they highlight, and he draws his dad's picture on a card for his birthday card. Yeah. And that's what kind of... his dad is like, I forgot you used to be really into, you used to really love, how much you used to love drawing. And Jamie's like, yeah, I'm starting to get back into it again. Like, that's another faint glimmer of hope. And retroactively, if he had gotten obsessed with, it wasn't going to be sports. Like, there's this whole sad memory that he relays to the assessor about his dad not being able to watch him play sports because he was bad.
So bad. Yeah.
And his dad even relays that, so it stuck with his dad as well. And so his dad didn't find a way to encourage him to pursue activities that would keep his self-esteem up, give him a sense of purpose and worth. And then kids just turn to the internet instead and social media. And that's completely toxic.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about that strategy or that approach? Is that something you think will apply to, I don't want to make this about your future parenting, but I in the abstract, I feel like that's a really useful kind of takeaway.
Ideally, I don't want him to have any type of, like, access to anything without us, like, kind of being aware of what he's doing. So I'm sure there'll be, like, there might already be, like, social monitoring stuff where we can, like, see what he's looking at and, stuff like that. But
well, take internet out of the equation. I'm saying, like, put all that energy into, like, music or volleyball or disc golf or
he's already showing signs of, like, really being interested, obviously, in sports and music. He was playing on the drums yesterday, so we'll just further push other stuff like that, and art and drawing, and he does like to paint and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different outlets he's interested in. But
well, what about for you? Was that consistent with your experience growing up? Like, again, we didn't have, fortunately, the social media aspect, but it was like your hobbies that made you feel. Yeah, for sure.
Mom stayed at home with us, so we're outside all the time doing art projects and stuff. And we played a lot of video games, but
yeah. And for me as a boy, it was sports. Like, probably the biggest thing, and that's why people might dismiss that, or worry that it's losing. I think it just serves a vital purpose as a distraction now more than ever. From video games are a way better distraction probably than social media.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Because at least they are kind of like they play to your imagination. Oh, for me, it was also things like Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah. Like your mall tournament.
Yeah, yeah. And I would play with Jeff in the neighborhood and like having activities that stimulate you intellectually,
Yeah.
and in the case of sports, tire you out physically,
Right.
and you feel good. If you win, you might feel bad if you lose, but like I can't even imagine just like I can imagine because of how draining it feels as an adult to just spend all time scrolling on your
Oh
phone
yeah.
or endlessly surfing the internet and like going down one very ADD rabbit hole after another versus kind of like reading a book or something. So I don't know. It's all those things that there's escapism that's healthy, like reading
Yeah.
as a kid. There's things that are actually creatively fulfilling and give you self-worth, like somewhat writing and stuff for me as a kid. And so I don't know. It's drawing was his one thing,
Yeah.
and he kind of pushed it aside when he got the computer, unfortunately.
Yeah. And both of us stuck to sports all throughout high school. So
Yeah.
that was a good way to make friends and be distracted from other stuff. But we also didn't have social media, which is really nice.
Exactly. Yeah, it kind of showed that like because he wasn't good at sports, and that was the one thing that his dad probably knew to push, or like was excited to push him towards. And his dad didn't discourage him from drawing. Like that's another thing. The show isn't like we don't learn that like he was like, "Oh, you're a sissy boy because you like to draw." Like
Right.
they did encourage him, but it was trumped by the influence of the internet, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's work backwards to because episode 4, the series ends with the father crying into
teddy
Jamie's
bear.
pillow and then tucking the
Yeah.
teddy bear in.
Yep.
So we were devastated. I'm sure everyone that's listening to this that got to the end. I don't necessarily want to meet the person that didn't have a strong emotional reaction to this. Everyone processes emotions differently, but this show was the most effective thing I've ever watched at producing, like making you feel empathetic for the family and feel an emotional like feel the tragedy. But episode 3 is a roller coaster in its own right, of slowly realizing, okay, well he's still pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Or he's fucked up, and we're not going to get any kind of neat closure or any kind of neat like redemption arc in the course of this short series for
Like he
for
starts
Jamie,
off
whether or not
starts off so sweet. Like and then like making jokes and like happy, and I was like, okay, this is what I need. I need a little like reprieve from all this like all the other emotional moments. But then he just goes off the rails multiple times, and he's just an angry 13-year-old boy. And terrifying. If I was the therapist, like she held it together so well until like he left. But because I thought about that, I was like, man, when I went to college, I was like, I want to be a criminal psychologist. I wouldn't be able to do that. I would lose my shit. I'd cry. I'd have to leave. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you've said that you couldn't, whether it's the cops or the public defender,
I couldn't handle any of that.
or the assessor.
No.
I'm calling her an assessor because they try to. It seems like they were drawing a distinction between whether she's not a therapist. She's like she's working for the family.
Oh.
She's doing an assessment that she's going to present to the judge on behalf of the family, and she's doing it very objectively in the way she's supposed to, but she does work for the defense. And whether she's supposed to arrive at, or whether it would help the defense if she lands at the fact that he's crazy or the fact that he's better or whatever. He displays major breaks of anger and threatening behavior, physical violence during the course of this assessment.
I thought he was going to throw the hot chocolate on her. I could have sworn that was going to happen. I'm glad he didn't, but
yeah. It's he just swipes it away, and apparently, I watched we saw a little clip of that scene, but it's like the two performers analyzing the excruciating scene that they put on together, and he was like, that drink was disgusting. It wasn't hot chocolate.
Dang.
But yeah, she was really good. It was I thought it was interesting when she would like leave the room and have to interact with that security guard.
Oh yeah,
guy. That was really disturbing.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird.
But yeah, the show just did such an awesome job throughout of putting you in these ultra realistic scenarios and not cutting away literally, and making you live in real time with these in these hyper dramatic situations.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just hard for me to talk about in general. Which I guess makes it. I mean, it's a very well done show. I'm glad it's just a miniseries, and I'm glad there wasn't like some redeeming something at the end. It just ended, and I cried, and then was on with my day or night. Watch it at night. But
yeah, well, we'll end there because it is very heavy, and I know everyone that watched it probably is. It's helpful, I think, to process obviously it together and hear other people talk about it, but you can only live in this headspace for so long.
Yeah, and it pairs really well with a glass of red wine. Just saying, if anyone hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
And some Foursquare. I played Foursquare after the last episode, so that helped.
Yeah, I started work. And that did not help.
No.
It didn't help me or my work output, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So don't watch at 7 a.m. But otherwise...
recommend
okay.
In the evening.
Yeah. And lastly, just to circle back to the first question, I mean, I know it's difficult to recommend this show, but we both agree
I think it's important for people to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you feel like you can, then it's worth it. And whether you're a parent or not, I think it's not equally applicable. It's easier for me to watch because I don't have to worry about the actual any decisions I'm going to be making. But you do interact. We're part of a society that includes teen boys growing up in this internet and social media connected age. And so it gives me way more context.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for Adolescence. Thanks for powering through the discussion.
I almost didn't want to watch the last episode because I was like, "There's nothing's going to be," but I needed to finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great last episode. It wasn't, it didn't give you an easy way out, or the family that, but it at least mapped like the highs and lows, and I found enough positive takeaways to not leave it. I mean, to leave it devastated for the characters, but not necessarily devastated for society at large, hopefully.
Yeah.
Although not super optimistic.
No.
Okay, lastly, before we go, how much do you think I'll like the studio?
You want me to give you like a scale, or what kind of measurement are you thinking?
Just high, medium, love it, whatever kind of scale.
I think you're gonna be medium high, like a 7 out of 10. You're gonna like it. You're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna love it.
And did they release just one episode?
I only watched one. I honestly don't know.
Okay. Sometimes Apple will do a multi-episode drop at the front.
Yeah, I just watched the first one. I don't think it like prompted me for another episode. Also, Seth Rogen looks incredible. Just throwing it out there. He looks so good. Yeah, it's more serious than I thought. It's pretty stressful. And pay attention to the camera work. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to keep watching?
I'll probably watch one more just to see, and then I'll take it from there. But I'm going to give it, I'll watch more than the first episode. I also love Katherine Hahn. Just
nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she's great. So, little girl crush there. So just be on the lookout for her. You won't miss her based on her sweet outfits. So just, that's it. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening out there. If you want to follow along as we discuss the studio probably and kick off Film 2000, then you can subscribe by searching New Release on Spotify or Apple, or look for New Release Radio on YouTube. Ashley?
That's a tough rap. Happy 250!
Nice.